Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into one of organic chemistry's most mind-bending concepts. Imagine discovering that two completely different chemical compounds are made of the exact same ingredients in the exact same amounts, but they behave in entirely unique ways. Sounds kind of like magic, right? Well, it's not magic, it's the fascinating world of isomerism. This is an absolutely crucial topic for your Class X board exams, so let's figure this out together. So here's the big question. Can two totally different compounds have the exact same molecular formula? It's a pretty wild paradox when you think about it. In our daily lives, if you use the exact same ingredients in the exact same amounts, you're pretty much going to bake the same cake every time. But in chemistry, that rule just gets completely thrown out the window. And solving this paradox is exactly what we're going to do today. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today's session. First, we'll tackle the formula mystery. Second, defining isomerism. Third, we'll look at the butane example. Fourth, why isomers actually matter. And finally, a quick knowledge check to lock it all in. All right, section 1, the formula mystery. Let's ground this in what we already know. Think back to our previous explainers. We've already crushed functional groups, right? And we've laid down a super solid foundation for IUPAC naming. We know how carbon atoms bond and exactly how we name those structures. So with those basics totally down, it's time for the next big leap. We need to figure out why compounds with the literal exact same chemical formula can actually end up having completely different names, structures, and behaviors. Moving on to section 2, defining isomerism. What exactly are these things? Okay, so here is your formal definition. Isomerism is the phenomenon where two or more compounds have the same molecular formula, which means the exact same count of atoms, but completely different structural arrangements. And the really fascinating part here is that the atom count stays absolutely identical. Literally nothing is added and nothing is taken away, but the internal connections, the way those atoms hold hands with each other, that changes entirely. When compounds do this, we call them isomers, and the whole phenomenon itself is isomerism. Actually, think of atoms like a giant set of building blocks. Imagine taking, say, 20 red blocks and 10 blue blocks to build a little toy house. Now, imagine taking that exact same set of pieces, not a single block more, not a single block less, and building a car instead. The pieces are identical, right? But your arrangement dictates the final product. Well, organic chemistry works exactly the same way. Let's see this in action. Section 3, the butane example. I want you to focus entirely on this one formula, C₄H₁₀. That's 4 carbon atoms and 10 hydrogen atoms. Just hold that simple little inventory in your mind for a second before we reveal its secrets. Now, when we actually compare the possible structures for that formula, we see a massive difference. First, we have n-Butane, which features carbon atoms connected in a very simple, straight chain, just CH3 to CH2 to CH2 to CH3. But then, look at isobutane, also known as 2-methylpropane. It forms a branched chain. It's kind of like a tree with a branch sticking right out the middle. If we count the atoms in both, they each have exactly 4 carbons and exactly 10 hydrogens. They share the C₄H₁ formula, but they clearly have entirely different structures. Bam! These two are isomers. And this brings us to a golden rule. Same formula does not equal same structure. Make this your absolute mantra for mastering organic chemistry, because it's the ultimate key to avoiding those really tricky mistakes on your exams. Section 4, why do isomers matter? Why do we even care? Well, because the atoms are arranged differently, the overall shape of the molecule changes. And in chemistry, shape dictates behavior. Even though our butane isomers are made of the exact same atoms, they will actually melt at different temperatures, they'll boil at different temperatures, their densities are different, and they can even have completely distinct chemical reactions. The arrangement is literally everything. And honestly, this is exactly why chemists obsess over isomerism. By understanding and controlling these structural arrangements, scientists can manufacture incredibly specific things. A tiny structural tweak, that can mean the difference between a life-saving medicine and just a useless, inactive powder. It's the difference between the scent of a really sweet perfume and something that smells, well, terrible. It's how we create specific types of plastics and entirely new synthetic materials for the modern world. All right, section 5, knowledge check in summary. Let's wake those brains up. Here is question 1. Two compounds having the same molecular formula but different structures are called what? Is it A, polymers, B. Isomers, C. Elements, or D. Mixtures? Go ahead and shout out the answer if you know it. If you said B, isomers, you are absolutely correct. Fantastic job. Remember that foundational definition. Same formula, different structure equals an isomer. Let's keep this momentum going. Question 2. Which molecular formula is commonly used to explain isomerism? Check out your options. A. CH4, B. C₂H₁₀, C. C₄H₁₀, or D. CO2. Think back to the star example we just looked at. And the answer is C. C₄H₁, which gives us our straight chain n-Butane and our branched chain Isobutane. Make sure you get this formula firmly locked into your memory for those board exams. Okay, last one. Let's challenge you with the root cause here. Question 3. Isomerism occurs because A. Atoms disappear, B. Formula changes, C. Arrangement changes, or D. Carbons decrease. The answer is C. It is all about the arrangement of atoms changing. Just like our toy building block analogy, you don't lose or gain any pieces, you just snap them together in a brand new way. Real quick, before we wrap up, let's look at a super common pitfall. It is so easy to just assume that a matching formula means a matching compound. But as we've seen today, that's just flat out wrong. Identical formulas do not guarantee identical compounds. You always have to check the internal arrangement. Now, as you continue your chemistry journey, you're going to find out there are actually two major types of isomerism out there: structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. But hey, don't worry about getting overwhelmed right now. For your current Class X level, our focus is going to be strictly on structural isomerism, which is exactly what we looked at today, where the actual physical connections between the atoms change. And that leads us perfectly to a lingering question. Just how many different ways can we arrange these carbon chains? Like, what happens when we move a double bond or shift a functional group entirely? Well, you are going to find out in our next explainer, where we'll dive deep into specific types of structural isomerism, specifically chain isomerism, position isomerism, and functional group isomerism. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep reviewing these concepts, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.